Hello, hello, ladies. Awesome. Let me pin this to the top of our Facebook group as always. Make sure you're there. Macro tracking and weightlifting for women. We do loads of free content every single week. All right, pinning to the top. Beautiful. All right, ladies, we've been getting a lot of questions lately about, am I in the right phase? What do I need right now? What should I be experiencing? Things like that. And so let's talk through who should be in each phase, a deficit, maintenance, or a surplus. Okay. There are always exceptions to everything, especially when it comes to your body. But this is a pretty great rule of thumb to follow. But of course, if you have questions, just let me know. Okay. So as always, I'm going to reference my notes to keep me on track. So you should be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight and fat, right? You want to lose weight on the scale. So you should definitely be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. There are a couple tangents to that, right? For example, if we have women who want to lose like 50 to 60 pounds, we usually get about half of the weight off, bring their calories up, be in maintenance for a few months to give their mind, their body, everything a break, and then go back down into the deficit to get out the last like 25 to 30 pounds or whatever it is. So it's not that you're always in the deficit. It just is, if you're not sure where you should be right now and you want to lose weight on the scale, more than likely you should be in a deficit, okay? Another thing is some people say, well, I don't know what weight I should be at. Like, where do I go down to, right? And you're really only going to know when you get there. I've shared before stories of women who, they had quite a bit of weight loss. Like, let's say, I think she was at maybe 35 or 40 pounds. And she says, I think I'm good here. And it's like, why are you good here, right? And it was like, oh, well, I never dreamed I could get farther. And so it was like taking the pause and saying, do I want to go farther or do I like it here? And then she realized, oh, I actually do want to go farther, right? And so it really depends on you. And don't worry if there's a lot of mindset growth to work through. It's very normal and it's 100% of the time there. So for me, I like to see my abs year round. And so, for example, if for any reason I can't see my abs, then I'm like, whoops, okay, dial it in a little bit for, a week or two. And then it's like, tightens you right back up. That's the great thing about going through the macro tracking process is it develops so many habits. So then you can actually maintain your physique without tracking. But then if sometimes you're like, oops, I feel a little bit fluffy. It's like, cool, track for a week or maybe two. And then bam, you're like, oh yeah, that's what it was. I just need to dial it in. And then track for a week or two. You'll know what it is. You'll get back down to where you feel comfortable and then you can stop tracking again. So it's wonderful. It requires getting to the body that you really love, that you feel really good in, bringing calories up, teaching your body, your habits, your lifestyle, your mind how to maintain it. Then all the freedom is there. Okay. You should also be in a calorie deficit if you're not happy with your body fat percentage, right? Unless it's like 1%, then you could probably do maintenance. But if you want to drop like a good amount of body fat percentage, I would say more than likely you're going to go into a deficit. So maintenance, there's so much noise, I think, around maintenance. And so I'm going to share the Queens of Iron philosophy, okay? I've heard a lot of people, even trainers, say, oh, I'm so fluffy in maintenance. I'm like, how are you fluffy in maintenance? Why don't you just maintain where you want, right? And it's like, there's just some disconnect. And I think the disconnect is habits, habits and mindset, honestly, because you should not be fluffy in maintenance. You should be maintaining literally your dream body. Like that's what we do. That's what I've been doing, right? Are there small fluctuations? Sure. When I go out to eat 7 days a week and I'm not choosing a salad every time, yeah, my weight might pop up a little bit. My abs kind of disappear. And that's when I'm like, hey, dial it in, right? But it's consistent feedback. So maintenance, granted, you may go there in and out of a deficit depending how much weight you have to lose and depending how much work you need to do on your metabolism, right? If you've been a chronic dieter, maintenance for you may not be around 2,000 calories yet. It is for other people, right? Maintenance for you may be much lower. And so it's like finding that fine line of we're hitting your goals, we're bringing your calories up. We're hitting your goals, we're bringing your calories up to train your body how to have a higher maintenance, right? So don't ever let anyone compare your macros to anyone because they're 100% unique to you. And that's why I think it's a little bit silly to do macro checks. Like I get it to see like, okay, do these like just naturally look okay? But the only way to really know if the macros are right for you is to understand what habits you're exercising, where your mindset is, and then what your weekly results are. So don't let someone just blindly tell you that your macros are wrong unless you're eating like 1,000 calories, right? Because they really don't know, because there's no two similar macros literally on the planet. And that's why calculators can get you so far, but to really get dialed in for what you need, there has to be a human behind it, right? There's so much art. Okay, so who else needs to be in maintenance? Sometimes, ladies, if your stress is super high, it's actually better to go to maintenance calories for a month, 2 months, maybe even 4 months, to basically take a stressor off your body, because being in a deficit is a stressor, right? It's moving your body to a place that it's not comfortable because it wants to maintain, but you're like, no, I don't want to maintain there. I want to go down. That's a stressor on the body. So if you have like maximum stress all throughout the day, maintenance might be an okay place for you for a little bit, and that's okay, right? Or even like a 5 to 10% deficit rather than like a 20 to 25% deficit, right? So you don't always have to go extreme, is basically what I'm saying. Okay. You should be in maintenance if you're happy with your body, you're happy with your physique, you like it weight-wise. You probably still want to build muscle, you probably still want to shape, totally normal. That's an amazing thing, but you're happy with your body fat percentage for the most part. If there's like a tiny bit of fat left over, no problem. Let's fill the muscles out and get rid of that little last bit of fat in maintenance. Remember, ladies, body recomposition, right? We're lowering body fat percentage, we're increasing muscle mass percentage relative to your body. You're changing your composition, right? This happens amazingly in maintenance. Do you gain weight in maintenance? Never, never. If you're doing it right and you're consistent and doing the right thing, you don't gain weight in maintenance. You don't gain weight in the reverse process, none of that. How is that possible? Because you're never going into a surplus. If your habits are on point, give yourself grace if you go over. Who cares? It's okay. It's life. But we're always leaning back into, what would have been a better decision in that case? Not to restrict life, because that never works, right? We need to just fine tune our lifestyle habits so you can still have a lot of fun, go out to eat, have wine, do your thing, still be taking care of your body with high quality food choices and things like that. But it's like you're learning proper nutrition and lifestyle balance. It's so required. So if you have those things down, or you're actively like working on those things, you usually don't gain weight in maintenance. You can stay very tight, and you become a tighter and tighter and tighter, more fit version of yourself in maintenance, because you're losing fat in maintenance. You're gaining muscle, in maintenance. Your weight is staying the same. We've seen up to a 2-pound fluctuation. Usually it's like 0.7 to 1.3 pound, I would say, fluctuation. Everyone's different, but it's usually a pretty small fluctuation. If the fluctuation is higher, either your habits are off or your food quality is off, more than likely. If it's a big fluctuation, I'm like, that's probably below. I mean, there's so many things that can be involved in that. It's probably not the actual macro. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, love, I'm glad that makes sense about stress. Yeah, it's a doozy. Okay, what else, you guys? Let's see. So for maintenance, so you want the scale to stay the same, but you slowly shed fat. We've seen measurements. So we take 5 measurements, waist, low belly, glutes, and 2 on the thigh. In maintenance, we've seen measurements drop. So you're getting tighter and more fit every like 3 to 5 weeks. But again, the scale stays the same. If someone's telling you that, don't worry if you're gaining weight, you're gaining muscle, but you don't want to gain weight, that's not a thing. It just means that your nutrition needs to be more dialed in, or your habits, right? Your macros or your habits. Okay. Now, so let's talk through who needs to be in a surplus. At Queens of Iron, we rarely put women in a surplus. And here's why. Why are we in a rush to build a ton of mass, right? Because I understand that people say there's not a thing to get bulky. And I've like kind of said that, and that's kind of a thing. But I should say it takes years and years and years of intentional lifting to feel that way. I feel that way when I put on more muscle. So I stay like this. I have not worked out in 2.5 weeks, which is not normal and not what my ideal, but my whole world just flipped upside down. I'm moving across the country. It's been nuts. So I just haven't been able to do that. My body looks the exact same, the exact same. Why? Because my habits and my nutrition are dialed in. So I can lift. I usually lift about 3 days per week and I don't track macros. That's it. And it's really easy for me to maintain. I can go up to 4 days if I want to grow a little bit, right? But it's so much better, I feel like, because you get to feel comfortable all year round, every year, versus when you're going surplus, maintenance, deficit, maintenance, surplus, like just going all the time. Most women don't have time for that. It's so much they have to think about. And then in the surplus, you're so uncomfortable. If you're trying to build a ton of mass for competition, I get that. But for us who just want to live fit and healthy for the rest of our life, we're going to lift weights forever, right? Because even ladies, as we're 80 years old, we should be lifting weights to be strong and physically able. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. So if you're going to lift weights for the rest of eternity, why are you rushing the muscle growth process? Let's just hang out in maintenance forever because it's an amazing place to be. Lifestyle balance is way easier. You feel tight and fit in your body. You're not chasing any goals. You're just lifting weights. You've mastered your nutrition. You feel great in your skin and you're living a life of freedom, and you can put that energy towards working on your marriage or whatever is the challenge, right? It's like, it doesn't have to be such a thing. In the beginning, or you guys aren't in the beginning. Some of you are. I don't mean in the beginning. I mean in the beginning of the end, right? We're at the end. We're ready to be done with everything. You've done a lot and now you're here and you want to get to the end, which is freedom. Right here is going to be a bit of a learning process because it's usually like fine-tuning your habits. You've already created great habits, but it's fine-tuning habits, and it's a lot here. It's the final steps to, oh no, actually I'm going to achieve my goals and live there for the rest of my life. And women, even in our program, they're usually in the beginning of it-ish. They're still working through, can I even see myself that way? Oh my gosh, like I'm scared to have my dream body. Like, how are other people going to see me when I look amazing in a bikini? Am I going to be objectified? What's my husband going to think? What's my whoever going to think, right? Those feelings are very real. They have to be overcome to achieve your body, right? So allow a lot of learning curve to fine tune your mindset, your perspective, your nutrition, your physique shaping, lifting. When you're over the hump into maintenance, sure, there's still some mindset things for women, depending on how much muscle mass you have. But it's like, oh my gosh, then so much of the work, ladies, is done. That's the point. It's done. It's worth it to go through it the right way and to dig deep and to go through the personal growth, because on the other side is freedom. It's freedom. And some of y'all have been chasing this for 30 years. Let's just get to that freedom. It's very possible, and it doesn't include a fad diet ever. It's impossible, and it doesn't include killing yourself in the gym. It requires finding what's just naturally good and healthy for you, lifting weights, quality whole foods, working on habits, and getting your mind in a really healthy space in how you view and take care of your body. All right. Whew. Okay, ladies. That is that. Like, I went in a very different direction, but I'm like, oh, I just feel you. Okay, so ladies, I'd love to hear where you're at. I'd love to hear 3 things. If you'd like to comment and engage, you can do it now, and we can talk about it on the video, or you can comment and I'll talk with you later in the chats. So here's what I want to know. What phase are you in? Are you in a deficit? Are you in maintenance? Are you in a surplus? I'd also like to know, did this change your mind about anything? The second thing, what's going well in that phase? Are you accomplishing what it's set to? Like, do you feel like, okay, I'm in a deficit and I'm definitely losing weight in a healthy and sustainable way, or something different? And the third thing, where are you feeling stuck? Are there any areas that you're feeling stuck? Yeah, the mind space is so vital. You guys, it's so far beyond a plan and workouts. It requires you to become. It requires you to become. You can't live in this amazing, healthy, fit dream body without becoming the person on the inside. And it might feel scary, but it's awesome. And it's so worth it. And it it radically increases your quality of life. And I know so many of you don't even know, it's like you can't taste or touch or see it or feel it. So it's like you don't know it. And what I encourage you there, because I could tell you until I'm blue in the face, but you have to experience it. So if you're there, what I would tell you is one step closer. Just keep moving one step closer, and you'll start to peel back the curtain and be like, oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, is that it? Oh my gosh, there it is. And then I could cry. We see women do it so much. It's like, it's so fulfilling. Okay, I'm going to get off. I'm very emotional lately. Okay, let me switch pace and read this comment. I have like no more water in my cup. Okay, in between deficit and maintenance, went into a deficit for a long time, but you weren't making much progress. Came out of the deficit, yeah, and started seeing results. Yeah, that's so real. Sometimes that really needs to happen. Like a lot of times I would say it's habits, because sometimes if your mind isn't available for the deficit, you're going over, and you would go over more than you would if you were in maintenance, right? So that can be a dicey space for some. Another thing too, yeah, we see this a lot with women with hypothyroidism, is they need to increase food. Whenever they get stuck, it's at least up until now, it's always been an increase in food for sure. Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, hi, Carla. I love you. Yeah, it's so worth it. Thanks to Queens of Iron. I'm in maintenance for the first time in my adult life as a 56-year-old. Carla, I'm going to share your pictures really quick because I think they're so awesome. And I know you've already told me I can, so I'm going to share really quick. Yeah, so Carla was so cool. She's obviously still with us today. And she came to us. She was plateaued for, I think it was about 2 years, right? Working with in-person trainers, doing HIIT training, so consistent with her nutrition. A lot of women say they're consistent in their nutrition, and to be honest, they're not really. Carla was. It was shocking. And here, let me pull this up. At Queens of Iron, we do about 1 pound per week fat loss. And of course, the scale fluctuates, so we primarily go by measurements. Let me make this way bigger. But yeah, this was her. So awesome. So awesome. 27 pounds after being plateaued, doing everything right, post-menopause. And now we're just building and shaping, growing muscle mass. And yeah, now she says in maintenance for the first time in my adult life. I'm so proud of you, Carla. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's so cool. Yeah, maintenance. Yeah, nice job. Maintenance is the dream. It's easy. It's fun. You're full. You just feel good. You feel really good. All right, ladies, cool. Let me know what questions you have if you want to talk through where you're at, what phase you're at, what you need. I'm all ears. I'm here for you. Okay, have a great day, ladies. Talk to you later.